My blog this month deals with a correspondence I received from a Mr. Jerry Murray, who was a very, very experienced helicopter pilot. He's 71 years old. He flew in the military. He was an Army helicopter pilot. He flew in commercial aviation as well. And he was responding to something on my Facebook page where I made comments about a clip that's been going around entitled 56 Seconds to Live, which is an excellent video, and if I were you, I would look it up on YouTube. And what the video is about is it's saying that if you go inadvertent IMC into the clouds and you're not instrument rated or current and proficient, or if you don't have an instrument rating, you've got 56 seconds before you'll probably lose control of the aircraft and kill yourself and anybody unfortunate enough to fly with you. And Mr. Jerry Murray reached out to me in a direct message on my Facebook page to say, well, he wanted to impart to me his experience going IMC. And the reason he told me he wanted to give me his experience is because he wanted to drive home the concept that it can happen to anybody. Anybody can lose control going into the clouds or unexpectedly or IMC event. It doesn't really have a bearing on how much experience you have. He was very experienced when it happened to him. And this is relevant because for as long as I've been flying in aviation, IMC events have killed more pilots than bullets ever have in the conflicts that we've had throughout the years. And so, in fact, in 2011, the NTSB figures show that 45 of the 52 IMC accidents occurred that year were fatal. And that it killed 154 people. That means 86% chance if you go IMC of killing yourself with only a 14% chance that you'll survive. Another study by the United States Helicopter Safety Team reviewed 104 fatal accidents between 2009 and 2013. And they found that the three most common occurrences going IMC were the outcomes were loss of control in flight, which is usually followed on by number 2, the unintended flight to IMC, and the third is low altitude operations. So it's really relevant. And I mean, I've been harping in my career resource management classes and as a flight instructor and flight examiner that we should avoid going IMC or going inadvertently into the clouds at all costs, because our chances of survival are minimum if it happens. I've experienced 3 IMC events in my career. The first one was flying in a formation of 6 Hueys in Vietnam, and the lead aircraft took us into the clouds, and it was absolute pandemonium. The second IMC event that I experienced was flying as an air medical pilot in Houston, when Houston Life Flight was only the 3rd hospital-based air medical program in America. And it was at 10 o'clock at night. I was flying north of Houston going to Bryan, Texas, taking the doctor and nurse to a medical emergency where a 5-year-old daughter had been beaten by her stepfather, and she was in an emergency room in Bryan, Texas. And I pushed the weather. It was a 700-foot overcast. I was flying an Alouette 3, and I went inadvertent IMC, and it was everything I could do at that stage in my aviation career, and I probably had about 4,000 or 5,000 hours at that time, to do a 180-degree turn and slowly descend. And I broke out of the overcast at 450 feet. The third IMC event I experienced was in San Diego in a Bocal 105, where I went into the marine layer, and by accident. It was 2:30 in the morning and I was dead tired. And I knew the area I was in, so I just gingerly lowered the collective and broke out of the marine layer at 500 feet. So I hope you enjoy my blog this month. Like I say, it was a story written by Jerry Murray, extremely experienced. I give a bit of background about his experience so you can see how experienced he was when he experienced this, encountered this IMC event. And he wanted to pass it on to others to drive home the point that it can happen to anybody, no matter how experienced you are. So I hope you enjoy my blog this month.